Sewing beautifully is one of the best parts about having a machine that's like this. The Brother Aveneer is a machine that will sew quietly, effortlessly, and make everything look gorgeous. Hey guys, it's Megan again with Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, and today we're talking about sewing on the Brother Aveneer. You might have seen our other videos on this YouTube playlist about the Brother Aveneer, but today it's just going to be an overview about some of the great sewing features built into this machine. So first off, one thing I like to point out, you might have watched our unboxing video for this guy, but I wanted to show you the box with all the accessories in there. So it does have lots of awesome sewing feet, including a stitch regulator with 3 different feet. It's got the dual function foot control. It does have a dual function foot control, but what I mean is the compact digital dual feed for that guy. We've got the awesome little brother screwdriver that works on every part of the machine. And then we have our standard presser feet, even a 1/4 inch guide. So there are so many different sewing features on this machine that are incredible. We can't hit all of them in one video. So like I said, check that playlist to see the others, but we're just going to do a general overview right now. So on the machine, I've got a J foot, and I'm going to talk about the screen before we look over that way. So you can see we've got tons of stitches. I'm in the utility mode right now, so that is like our standard zigzag, straight stitch, overlocking, all that kind of stuff. But you can see we've already got lots of options without even going into the character decorative side. I even have lots of buttonholes, which the buttonholes are a whole video by themselves. They're gorgeous, and they make it so that you have perfect placement. But one of my favorite things about the Brother Aveneer is the fact that it has a projector. And on the projector, it helps prevent me from going on vacation. So I'm going to go ahead and put my little piece of fabric there underneath the presser foot, and then I'm going to turn on my projector icon. So I'm going to do that, and she's going to take a second to think, and there we are. And it's giving me a visual of what my stitch is going to look like. Okay, so I can switch to a zigzag, and it'll show me a live view of what that's going to look like too. Now, switching to a zigzag, sometimes it's a little bit better to see this visually. I can pull my pen over here, and one thing I can do is I can change the background. And you'll notice, instead of just black, white, and gray, I've got tons of different colors. So if I wanted to, I can change the whole projector to match my fabric. That's a little obnoxious though, so I'm going to go back to white. Let's go to blue, just for fun. I can actually see that pretty well. But I'm going to go back to white for now. And press the check mark, because I feel like that might be a little more visual for you on the camera. Now, right here is my stitch width. So right now, the zigzag is about its standard width, which is about 3.5 millimeters. If I want it to be a wider zigzag, I can use my stylus right there and increase the width. I can do the same thing with decreasing, but you'll notice whenever I push that icon, there's a live view to show me exactly how big that stitch is going to be. Now, mind you, if I do the same thing on my machine, you can see it happening at the same time. Right here, that's going to be my stitch length. So maybe I want to turn my zigzag into more of a satin stitch. So I'm going to reduce the length a little bit, bring it down. All right, so now you can see those stitches getting closer together. And so every time I push the button, it gives me a live view of what I'm trying to do, showing me exactly what I want it to be. Now, from here, I can also change the color of my thread. So red obviously isn't showing up very well on this guy, but I can change it to like a brown or a black, switch it over to yellow. Whew. I think that we are probably best at that blue, so I'm going to keep it there. So that's one way that we can use the projector. But let's get to the guideline part. So on my screen, I'm going to turn on my guidelines, and now I'm given a whole other menu. On that other menu, I have a lot of things that I can play with. So right now, I've got a straight line active, I've got how long my line is going to be, where that position is going to be, but I have a main and a sub. So for now, I'm going to play, and I'm going to turn my main into a crosshair, so you can see that over on the projector side. Okay, so now you see that crosshair, But I'm going to switch the color because I have it matching my fabric. So maybe I'll try like a light yellow. See if you can see that. Not at all. Okay. Sometimes when you're playing on the videos, you can't quite see. Okay, that red looks pretty good. And now I can move my sub to something different. So right now, it's lined up at about 1/4 of an inch. So right about there, you can see that sub line, I just moved it over. Let's change that one a little bit more obvious for you. I'm going to change it to white. Nope. Black. There we go. The black is going to be our subline right now. I can also change this to be completely different too. So I can do something like a grid line. Woo, that's really close together. Let's make those a little bit wider. So I can bring these all the way up to about 1 inch or 2 apart. So if I'm trying to do grid line quilting or lining up my decorative stitches, I can make sure that they're even across the whole quilt without me having to mark it up. I've also got angles, including angles that are on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, which is really nice when you're trying to line up your perfect points when you're piecing. I've also got what I call kind of like the echo quilting one. Whoops, I have to press OK first. There we go. The echo quilting one where it will create a circle around my presser foot. That's very beneficial when we get over to the stitch regulator. And there's also a little bit more of a crosshair like this. So I've got lots of options available for me so that I can make sure that I am sewing in a straight line every single time. Or as I often say, prevents me from going on vacation while I'm sewing. Along with all of that, when I sew, it can help me make sure that I'm in a straight line, but watch how quietly this guy sews. I'm going to switch back to a straight stitch, and then we're going to go. Quiet, fast, and beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and lift my presser foot and show you guys that stitch. Can you see it in the projector light? That kind of makes it shine a little bit. But the stitching is absolutely beautiful, and you heard how quiet it was. I love it when a machine is quiet because that means when I'm hanging out with one of my friends and we're sewing together, instead of having to yell over the machines, we can actually have a conversation together. It also helps when, I don't know about you guys, most of us watch TV shows, listen to a podcast, maybe listen to true crime or something. It makes it so you can actually hear what you're trying to listen to if you're finally getting a moment to yourself in your sewing room. So that's really nice. Along with that, there are a couple of more fun things on the screen that we can play with this. On here, they have character decorative stitches. The character decorative stitches, I always say, are the fun ones because they've got lots of different varieties on here. So we've got tons of different sections with beautiful stitches on each of them. Number 8 is the butterfly, where it says I love you in a bunch of different languages, and then has some really cute holiday and kind of kid-friendly ones, which I think are really cute. And then, of course, since it's the Brother Aveneer, we also have Disney ones. So we've got a couple of sewing stitches on the Disney side, including Mickey and Minnie little, I keep trying to call them hidden Mickeys, but the little Mickey and Minnie branded heads. We've got his hand. You have his foot. One of my favorites is going to be the little Cinderella shoe. I think that's really cute. And if you go over to the projector, alongside of that, I can do something called auditioning stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my subline because I feel like that's distracting. I'm going to also make my main line just be a straight stitch or a straight line again. Yeah, you know what? Just to unjunk it, we're going to take the guideline off actually. And then I'm going to use my stylus to do the auditioning stitch. So right here, there's a little stitch icon. I can turn that on. And now I can go, well, maybe I don't want the slippers, maybe I want the crown. And it's going to show me what that stitch is going to look like on my fabric, which is awesome. Now, I think that's a pretty cute one, so I'm going to go ahead and say, yep, that's the one I want to do. Oop. And on my screen, it tells me that I should switch to the N plus foot. So I'm going to do that really quickly. Oop. The feet just drop right on and off. They fit perfectly back in their box. And trust me, you want to try and remember to put them back in their home because you don't want to go hunting for them when you're trying to do something in a quick hurry. And then just because it's a decorative stitch, I'm going to put a piece of stabilizer underneath it. Which, by the way, this is the perfect opportunity to save those stabilizer scraps. All right, from here, I'm going to go ahead and stitch some of these cute little designs. And this is a really big design that's bigger than the width of my presser foot. So it's going to kind of dance a little bit as she goes. And I'm just going to do one. But notice how I'm barely, if not even, touching the fabric as it goes. Because I know that this machine will sew a straight line for me. That's how sharp the feed dogs are and how that side-to-side motion works for it. All right, you ready? Let's see it. Oh, it turned out so cute. I'm going to turn off that projector so we might be able to see that a little better. There we go. Isn't that so cute? Can you just imagine adorning your own garments with stitches like this? A lot of these stitches you can actually bring in the embroidery side too and do all sorts of things with it. You guys have to go to the stores, check out the sewing side of this machine because you will be amazed with how smooth it is. If you haven't already, double check that Brother Aveneer playlist that we have on YouTube and check it out on our website because seriously, you will be blown away by this machine. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time, and I hope you're drooling as hard as I am over the Brother Aveneer. Hey guys, here at Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, we always like to make sewing fun start here. And so we appreciate you watching this video. If you want to see more like it, check out this playlist. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you know what is happening here. So we'll see you guys next time.